Chalk Game coming at you with another episode, coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, author of Wow, Love Can't Wait, and the Chicken's Guide to Have Women Beg for You, Sex, Lust, and Lies. And before we start, y'all can follow me on Instagram too. I keep forgetting about that. I've been posting a lot of pictures over there lately. So today we're going to talk about how to date women, multiple women, and their 20s. And I can talk about this all day long. And today, man, a lot of women in their 20s are, in my opinion, man, are kind of all over the place.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think today with younger women, like if you older, your late 20s or older, there's a certain kind of way you got to deal with these girls around their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Because these girls in their 20s, they want to go to the club. You know what I mean? They want to have some fun. So you can't really take it too serious. Now there's some girls that are in their 20s that you can put them onto some game. Those are the ones you should take serious. But most girls in their 20s, you should look at it as like having fun if you're an older guy. You know what I'm saying? It's not any kind of long-term investment unless she's down to listen to some game.
Older guy like me. No, serious. No, serious. The reason why I say that is because a 28-year-old woman, she'll look at me, she'll say, hey, he's an old guy. I know this. They might say, I've had this happen to me. They'll say, oh, you don't look your age. You look young. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that tells me, oh, okay, I guess I'm the old guy. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. But the thing about a lot of the young girls is, they still dreaming. You can sell them a dream. You can, because they're inexperienced. A lot of them are ambitious, though. That's the thing. They do take a lot of chances, but it's not that smart. Because a lot of guys my age usually catch them young girls, and they gas them up, they lie to them, they manipulate them. Because a lot of older guys, they just want to smash, and they'll lie to these girls, sell them some dream or whatever, But I don't do that. Once these girls usually find out some of the stuff that I do, I usually say, hey, this is what happens. This is how this shit work. If you want to make a lot of money, you got to put yourself out there. You can't be shy. You got to have thick skin. You can't be bashful. You got to have a personality. So I'm not trying to sell them anything. And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, that sounds inspiring and everything or whatever. But a lot of them don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put it in time. So they'll stick around for a while. Because, if they find out that you're a different type of guy than what they usually meet, they're going to put you on the top of the list, right? You're going to rise up above the rest of the guys, but what usually happens is they're probably not going to spend a lot of time around you. They'll keep you around, but you're probably not going to be that type of guy that they would call when they want to have a good time, some shit like that,
That's true. That's true. And the other thing, as far as younger girls having ambition, I do agree with that. I really feel like it's where you meet the younger girls, because if you meet a younger girl like at the college scene or something like that, like she's already somewhat on the right track. It's just like, as far as younger girls on the scene, like the club, and you're gonna meet those girls. Those are the ones that really just they about having fun, and they're not taking it too serious. So I think it's really location and mindset when it comes to the younger girls. But that's my opinion with that.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot to do with it. You know, like for example, where I live at, there's a lot of aspiring models, actors, actresses. Some people want to be in the music business. Um, but the problem is a lot of people don't really have anything to show.
Mm.
So they'll it's a lot of talking going on, but nobody's really doing anything. Now, I'm not gonna say nobody, but I'm saying the majority. Just like you might meet a girl and she might say, "Hey, I'm an aspiring model" or something like that. So I'll be like, "Hey, you got something to show? You on the calendar, or you're in the videos, or maybe you're on Instagram." They say, "Yeah, I'm on Instagram." They might have 10 pictures. I'm like, "Yo, come on, man." I mean,
Yeah.
you got to deal with an agency? No. So I'm like, come on, man. So it's like, it,
Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of girls are like that two-shot game. I'm an inspired model and stuff like that. They're not working with no agency, you know what I'm saying? They just taking pictures and putting them up,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
No financial background.
Even if you're even if you're an Instagram model and you have followers, I give you credit for that. I give you props for that because a lot of
Mm.
girls can't do that. So that's an acquired skill in itself. If you can get guys' attention, and I'm not saying it's that hard because a lot of thirsty guys out here today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but at the same time, you still have to pose certain pictures. So I'm not saying it's easy because if it was easy, all the women in the world would be doing it, but that's not the case. But I know that a lot of these girls in the 20s, I think they're the hardest to keep near you or keep next to you because they're kind of all over the place mentally.
Oh yeah.
They have a lot of things they want to do, but they don't really sit down and really think about it. You know, so
Mm.
that's just been my experience. What about you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for younger girls, like you said, their mind's sort of all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not like an older woman. Like her mind's sort of set. She's sort of set in her ways. You know what I mean? She really sort of grounded. Sort of knows what she wants to do. But like I said, a younger girl's mind is not developed yet. Your mind's not developed at 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to understand all that when you're dealing with a younger girl. Now, perfect world, you find a younger girl that's submissive and she's on some game, man. You better
Yeah,
hold on to that.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's they're not they're not developed yet, and that's why a lot of them get taken advantage of.
Mm.
That's part of the problem. And what usually happens to a lot of these girls when they're in their 20s is a lot of them, being that they all over the place, they're getting ran through
Oh yeah.
at the same time because they have no guidance when they're out there, whenever they leave the house, and they still, living that, they're still dreaming. They're thinking about, I can find this one guy,
Mm.
that's going to save me in a sense. Going
Yeah.
to save me and going to take me to the promised land. And see, a lot of them
Um,
had that same mindset. And then the babies start coming. And
oh.
now they're in the 30s now. And now, they're looking for the sucker in the
Oh
30s.
yeah. Yeah.
See,
Mm-hmm.
see, a lot of these girls is they saw what Russell Wilson did. Now that was like, that was like unheard of. What Russell Wilson did with Sierra. That's
Yeah.
like, these young girls are looking at that and they're like, oh my goodness. Yeah,
There's still hope.
still hope. There you go. So they trying to model that. They're like, oh man, if she got a shot, man, I mean, and I'm younger than she is. She's in her 30s, and man, I just might have that one shot too. You know, find that one guy.
And you know what it is though, Shot Game. You really you nailed it right there when you said it. What happens is, like you said, these girls, they get run through when they're younger. So now, you know what I'm saying, they after all that, they're getting older and their mind's already, it's all fucked up. So, at that point, like you said, the good guys come involved. Now she's had a couple kids and whatnot, you know what I mean? So that's really the cycle of unfortunately that happens some of the time.
Yeah, but if I mean, if you want to have a good time, I think in the 20s is probably like the best age to do that.
Yeah.
20s and 40s. 20s and 40s. Yeah, 20s and 40s. In the 30s they got major issues, boy.
Oh yeah, they haven't recovered yet.
Exactly. See, in the 30s they still, hey, we have hope. We have hope. But like it's using a numbers game in the 20s. If you want to have a good time, it's more likely it's going to be a numbers game. But if I was a guy, I wouldn't really take anybody serious. I wouldn't take anybody serious if I was in my 20s anyway, until I get my money right, until I get my own life situated. I remember there was a guy on the chat. This is probably like last week, and he said he was 25. I forgot his name. I think it was Ryan. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. A guy named Ryan. He was on the chat saying, I think he said he was like 25, and he was looking for a girlfriend. And I was like, yo, you're too young for that shit. Anything, man, you should be chasing the bag, bro. You shouldn't be trying to settle down. And he was saying that he can easily get girls, but he just can't find a girlfriend. So I was like, I mean, if you want a girlfriend in the 20s, you're going to have to be a really strong guy. You're going to have to really lead that girl you have to really have a plan. That's what I'm really trying to say. But the thing about that, if you're in your 20s, I mean, you're still trying to figure out your own shit. So it's really difficult to lead a girl if you don't necessarily know where you're going at yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. You can't lead anybody if you don't know what direction you're going into. So I mean that. At that point, you should definitely just be focusing on the bag. And once you get that money and get yourself stable and set up, then you know what I'm saying. You don't even got to worry about the girl. Like we always say, you're gonna win by default when you got your stuff together, your money right, and everything. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna win by default. You're not gonna be out here on chats asking, for girlfriends and worrying about that, because you'll be chasing the bag, and you know what I mean. Women are gonna follow that.
Yeah. Exactly. Your time is limited, really. If you focus on finding, I think, your purpose in life, really. Shit. I mean, and in your 20s, I think it's good to experiment. Just try a lot of things until you find something that could be a potential hobby. And the idea is to turn the hobby into maybe a career, or at least a way to help people and make money all at the same damn time. That's the whole idea, really. But I don't know how you're gonna date, have a serious relationship, and do all that at the same time. I think it's impossible.
It is. Yeah. It most definitely is. A lot of people waste a lot of time like that. They get into relationships in their 20s, in a relationship for a couple years, you know what I'm saying, thinking it's going to last, and it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Then they do the same thing over again. And it's like, if you focused all that time you spent investing in on a person that the investment wasn't worth it, you know, you could have been chasing money and setting yourself up for, you know, success. And I'm guilty of that myself when I was younger. You know, if I
Me
knew what
too.
I know now, forget about it.
Yeah,
25,
me
I
too.
would have been making power moves.
Yeah, me too. And the reason why I was like that, I spent a lot of time chasing women, is because I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do when I came out of high school. I had no clue. No clue. I mean, everybody was saying, "Hey, I'm going to college. I'm going to military." Uh, some said I'm gonna just get a job at the steel mill with my dad, or at the paper mill with my
Mm-hmm.
uncle. Or some people say, "Hey, I'm moving up north. I'm going to New York City." Me, on the other hand, I had no clue. I'm talking like I'm like 18 years old, bro. I'm sitting there like, shit, I don't know what the hell I want to do. I had
Oh yeah.
no clue. So I ended up going to a private school for like 6 months. And then I got there. I said, man, this shit ain't for me, man. Too many rules in here. It's too
Yeah.
strict. You know, private school is very strict. That's one of their trademarks, I think. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I ended up transferring to South Carolina State after that.
Okay.
And I was like, this shit I still don't like this shit. You need a car up here.
All right.
You know? But at the same time, as far as my major, I didn't know what the hell to major in. That was another problem that I had. I was
Yeah.
like, I just don't know what the hell I want to do. So I felt like I was wasting my time in college my first year, basically. So
Mm.
I ended up coming home for about another 6 months, and then after that, man, I ended up going in the Navy. So I went in the Navy when I was 20,
Mm.
and I did 4 years of that. And while I was in the Navy, I figured out that I'm into tech. I figured out that I was liking technology. I mean, I didn't know it was going to be computers exactly, but I knew it had to be something in the realm of technology. And when I got out the Navy, um, I was like, I started checking around, talking to people at DeVry, ITT Tech, MIT. I want to go to MIT, but I found out that shit was high as shit.
Ain't cheap, man.
and then and then I didn't know it was up in Massachusetts, Boston, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Boston. It's
yeah, yeah,
expensive out there, man.
yeah. So I didn't know it was high, so expensive, and I didn't know it was in Boston. So I was like, I just can't come up with enough funds to make that shit.
Yeah.
Regardless of, I had a GI Bill and everything that I registered while I was in the Navy, but the expenses wasn't going to cover it. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
only covers a
well,
certain amount.
exactly. So I'm like, man, I ended up going to ECPI, and that was, you know, in Charlotte. So that was perfect because I was hanging around there anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the route that I took, basically, But look how long it took me, though. It took me like, Jesus Christ. I went to DeVry, when I was 28.
28. Oof, you're
Yeah,
my age.
yeah. So it took me a while to really learn or really find something that I really like doing, something
Mm.
that I can have a skill in. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
For
So
me, oh, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say for me it was some of the same thing, but when I graduated high school, I didn't go to college the first year after that. I was sort of just hanging around trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then, I went to the community college over here, and I was going for nursing. I was gonna go for nursing, And then, I decided that's not what I wanted to do. So then after that, it was like, I'm going to do radiology. And then while I was going for radiology, I was at that time I was still partying. For me, Sharp Game, it was all about distractions, man. Like I used to get distracted real easy, man. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I got class, but this girl wants to go hang out, and what I'm saying, I'll just go tomorrow. Because in college they don't care. In college, you're paying to go. You know what I mean? So they don't they don't care you show up or not. So
Yeah. They're gonna go pay. They're gonna get paid regardless. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. So unfortunately, after that, I had stopped going. So I didn't finish college, and after that, I did a couple other jobs, and then got into insurance, and been going with that and some other things. So that's sort of what happened to me. But I mean, I'm glad I got it under control by the time I was 28. I'll tell
Yeah.
you.
I think. What do you think about? Do you think people should go to college today? What's your opinion about that?
My opinion on that is like this. When I graduated, that was the thing. The teachers, your parents, you got to go to college. You got to go to college and get this degree to be successful in society. But as I got older, I'm seeing that that's not the case at all. You don't have to go into college and get a 4-year degree and put yourself in all that debt to be successful. There's plenty of other things you could do if it's working for the post office, if it's working corporate jobs, because some of the corporate jobs, they don't necessarily require a degree, and having your own business and things. So there's just to say that you got to go to college to make money in this society. I don't agree with that at all, because I know plenty of people that are making good money, and some of them never even went to college. Some went for a little while and didn't graduate. It's really just on your determination and your will.
Yeah, I say if you're not going to an Ivy League college or a college with some type of clout, maybe your parents paying for it. But if that's not the case, don't go. Because like I said, you're gonna be in. If you go to Ivy League, if you go to a 4-year college, you don't gotta be Ivy League college. If you go to a 4-year college, by the time you graduate, your student loan gonna be anywhere between $80 to $120,000, right? So when you get out of there, you're probably gonna be making anywhere between $30 to $50,000 on average. So now you can't even afford to make the monthly payments. I mean, because you gotta, more than likely you're gonna be staying in a big city. You gotta have more than likely you're gonna have a car payment. You got insurance. You got utilities. You got food. You're not gonna be able to afford to make monthly student loan payments. There's no way.
Mm-mm.
I mean, unless you're doing something under the table, and in most cases, it's not gonna happen in the beginning, because most people don't know how to make money. They don't know how to make their own money when they're young like that. It's rare. It happens, but it's not. But that's not the majority. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So
Oh
I see
yeah.
it like. So I see it like this. I think every man, even some women, should have a skilled trade or unique skill set. Whether you're an electrician, a plumber, whether you're in the marketing and advertising, whether you're a programmer, a writer, something that a designer, something that you could get paid for, regardless if you had a job or not. That's how I see it. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely agree with you. And I can tell you a story. My sister, she went to University of Hartford, with the Hartford, Connecticut. She went for marketing, and she went for 4 years, out of state tuition, of course, because we were in Rhode Island, and she owes over 100,000 in student loans, and the degree she went to school for, marketing, she's not even using that degree. She works as a bartender. She says she's making more as a bartender than she would starting out with marketing, and she's paying over $1,000 a month in student loans. So
exactly, that's what I'm
you
saying.
know,
So you gotta. I think when it comes to these degrees, you gotta narrow down your focus, and you have to have some type of hand-on experience along with that
mm-hmm.
shit. See, like let's take the marketing degree for example. This is a good example. Now, if you go to college for marketing, they teach you a bunch of theory class. You're in there sitting in there for I don't know how many hours a day. It's just a bunch of theory. The professor on the board telling you about something that's been in his book for the last 20 years, and that shit don't work. I know it don't work. Because I've been sitting in them same classes, and I'm like, what? Shit don't work, man. And then what happened is, like, after the class, I've talked to people that work in the ad agency, on people that work on Wall Street and Madison Avenue and all that shit, right? And I be like, I asked them, hey, did you go to school for marketing? Nope. Almost 90% did not go to school for that shit. And the ones that did go to school for it, I asked them, when you took a class, I mean, how did you deal with, the professor teaching one thing at the board, and some of these guys were already in the field. They already had jobs. They were just taking classes probably after work. So I asked them how they deal with that shit, because if the professor's teaching one thing and you looking like, man, that shit don't work.
Exactly.
So I asked them how they handle that. They said, nah, they don't say shit. They just chill. Because the professor, he's just doing his job. This guy, he ain't never started no business in his life, more than likely.
Right.
He just following the book. He's doing his job. He following the protocols, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So if you got a marketing degree, there's a lot of companies around here where I live at. There's a lot of companies that they basically hire people. It's like a pitch fest. They basically hire these people at these agencies, and the agency has a contract with a company like Verizon, Sprint, and they'll go. The agency's job is to go and pitch these other small businesses, or it could be a big businesses, on doing business with Verizon. So all they do is pitching, really. They're not even marketing. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I
but
said,
yet they went to school for it.
Exactly. So I asked them, hey, did you do any writing in class? Did you teach you how to write ads in class? Did you teach you how to market and promote online or use social media? They said, no, that's new shit. They don't teach that shit in class at all. So I'm like, you basically just waste your money.
Yeah. It's totally true. That's another reason, Shaw Game. I always told myself, like, I never wanted to put myself in debt. That's why even when I went to school, I went to a community college, because I knew a community college is something I could afford. I never want to put myself in $100,000, because you know what happens? All these people that went to the 4-year colleges and got these big degrees, they get themselves into all this debt, and then everyone's looking at them like, wait a minute, didn't you go to school for marketing, or didn't you go to school for nursing? You're supposed to be making all this money. But all that money doesn't come to play until years after, when the student debt's paid,
No, bro, they don't. Most people don't pay that shit back.
Yeah, that's true too.
No, most people don't pay that shit back. I'm talking like I remember the first student loan that I had when I was like 19, 18, 19, when I went to college. I paid that shit off within 2 years of me being in the Navy, right? And the second time when I went to ECPI was my second go round. Now I heard about the student loan thing, and I knew about it anyway, but I kind of estimated, okay, how much is my student loan going to be? I put everything in perspective from worst case scenario.
Mm.
Am I going to even able to? Am I going to be able to even get a job afterwards? The distractions that might come, the women that might come. I put worst case scenario and everything. So I say, hey, the highest my student loan would be is probably 50,000 tops. That's it.
Mm.
But it ended up being 35,000
Oh
after
wow,
everything was said and done. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. So
that's
I
not
look
bad at
at it
all.
like if when I graduate, if I'd never be able to get a job, I have to be able to use my degree towards either a side hustle or getting contract jobs or starting a company. So I thought about all this shit in advance, because I'm not going to be one of those people that go to school for business. That's their major, and you come out, you can't get no goddamn job.
Oh
You,
yeah.
not only you can't get a job, you can't even use this shit for anything else.
Oh yeah. That's crazy, man. And then the other people that don't even go and get business degrees, they get business degrees in like art or something that I can't even. Someone told me they had a degree in art. I'm like, what are you doing?
Physical education. So they'll
Yeah.
basically go to college. First off, college is just a big party fest. That's all it is.
Mm.
Some people say it's a good place to network and meet women and meet people, but no, it's just a big fuck fest. That's all it is in most cases. That's all
Yep.
it is. It's like
You're right.
ain't nobody learning shit here. People go to class, memorize some shit, and take the test, and I see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Come on, man. I mean, what? If some of these parents could record their sons and daughters in college and see what was really going on, they would not be paying for the shit. They would
Nope.
not be paying for the shit, man. So it's like in the 20s, if I could somehow rewind time back, I would not take none of these women serious in the 20s. Period. I would not waste my damn time, because in the 20s is like a very not gonna say a major point in my life, but it was a time in my life where I was trying to figure out a lot of things. A lot of things I had to figure out about myself. A lot of things I had to figure out socially too. Because I used to be one of those guys, like I was very shy in my early 20s. And I was one of those guys, I was very naive. I used to think that same shit that a lot of guys think today. If the girl talks to me for a while, if I get her phone number, oh, she must like me. I used to be one of those guys
Mm.
in my
Same here.
in my 20s. But what I should have done is focus more on getting my life together first. But the reason why it doesn't happen like that for most guys is because we have people around us. We have friends, and it's a lot of peer pressure. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people. We watching what other people are doing, and I be like, "Yo, he doing that. I'll try it too." But this
That's
whole shit
true.
is just a waste of time, man.
Yeah. And when and that's another thing too, if I could go back in time when I was in my 20s, I would have changed the whole circle of people that I was hanging out with. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
that in the women, that would have been the first thing that, I would have did because held me
yeah. I
back.
mean, the whole. I mean, in the 20s, man, some of these girls, they were just time wasters. I mean, it was
Mm.
like I didn't really like most of these girls I was around. It was
And you
more of
spent
like
money.
a convenience thing. It's like she's
Mm-hmm.
around, my man's around. So hey, if he's cool with it, I'm cool with it too. It was one of those. It was just for like convenience. I didn't really benefit in any way from having these girls around. It was more like, that's just make the best of this, and let the chips fall where they may. That type of deal.
Oh yeah, nah. Point on though, and the other thing too to remember is, not only did you waste time, you wasted money too. Think about all the money that you wasted with people, either girls or friends that you hanged around with, and look, they're nowhere to be found now. So you take all that money and just all that time that you could have been investing in something else, and that was my fault, man. The money and the time that I wasted, man.
Yeah, and you know, it's we're in the matrix. I mean, there's so many distractions in this country where it's like it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like you can get distracted from anything. The television, the radio, the music, women,
Yep.
cars, clothes, your friends, your family, football, basketball. Man, I can go on and on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh
all
yeah.
a bunch of the holidays. I mean, just a bunch of distractions. So it's really hard. It's very difficult for most people to get anything done because it's just so many. It's too much going on, especially if you live in a big city. Especially I think if you live in a smaller town, I think you can get more done much faster because it's a much slower pace and you don't have to worry about a whole lot of shit. The cost of living is 10 for the most part. The cost of living is less. So anything that you accomplish that's better than most, just keep in mind that you weren't supposed to do that shit anyway. You beat the
Mm-hmm.
odds.
Oh yeah. Most definitely, man. Most definitely, and that's why I always say, you can't be worried about what the next person's got. You know what I'm saying? Because when you worry about what the next person's got, then you look at what you got and think that you're just not doing enough. But if you just focus on your own things, what you got, trying to build more, that's how you're going to be successful.
Yeah. If you're worried about what the next man got, you've already lost. You'd already lost already.
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried about what the next person got, and a lot of people make that mistake. A lot of people start looking like, hey, they're doing better than me or whatever. You don't really know that. You don't really know how they're doing. I mean, because in America, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in America, and you can kind of create. They've already done it. They've created a fantasy. It's like a makeup world where it's like they'll say you got the rich, the upper middle class, the working class, the poor, and the homeless. I'm like, what? And then they go on and say, hey, that's a girl, that's your girlfriend,
Yep.
that's your side chick, that's your wife, that's your mistress. They got all these titles. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it. Either you're married or you're not. If you're married or you're single, either you're rich or you're poor. Either you got it or you don't. And
Exactly.
if you ain't rich, you still out here getting it just like everybody out here getting it. So they created everything is based on kind of like a fantasy. They just want people to feel good about themselves long enough for us to take your money. That's what it is in America. I always say the only difference between here or really any first world country compared to the quote third world country is in the third world countries, they're honest. They're honest. They don't say this is the middle class. No, they don't say that shit at all. Hey, we're not rich. That's it.
Here they want everybody to feel equal. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody,
Yeah,
they want, yeah, they want everyone to live the American dream. So
yeah. They don't you know that what they really want to do is take your money. That's what they really want to do. They want to
well,
find any way, any means necessary to figure out how they can sell you a dream, make you feel good about yourself, make you feel pumped up, make you feel better than the rest of those people, so they can find a way to get that money out of you. That's what it's all about.
it's true. That's 100% true. And the
It's a-
thing is, most people don't realize that, Shark Game.
they don't. I mean, it's the biggest hustle. It's the biggest hustle in the world, man. It's the biggest hustle in the world. I'm telling you.
Mm. Oh
that's
man.
that's that's what that's what I learned when I went in the Navy, man. When I went in the Navy, man, I got a wake up call. I was like, this thing ain't what I thought it was out here at all. You know, it's
Mm.
like almost 90% of what I thought before I went in the Navy. None of that shit is true.
Wow.
None of it. I'm talking about from the women to to finances, to the economy, to the colleges, to these other countries, to the governments around the world, and even the government over here. I'm talking everything you can name is straight up bullshit.
And
I
most
mean,
people don't
it's
realize it because
no,
they haven't been well traveled. Like you know what I mean?
yeah, they don't. Well, some people realize it, but they just want the shit to keep going because if it keeps going, it benefits them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
Now, the people that it doesn't benefit, they're the main ones that be in denial about the shit. Because, see, a lot of people, especially where I live at, they think 50, 60,000 is a lot of money. I'm like, what? They,
Hmm.
you got people on my, like, leaving comments under the Atlanta videos that I did a couple of weeks ago. They think 60,000 is a lot of money. They're like happy because they're making 50, 60,000. I'm like, yo, that ain't shit here. I mean, that's a good start, but that ain't
Yeah,
shit.
and
I'm
that's
like,
probably before taxes.
yeah, they don't even factor in the taxes. They just, it's like, this is how much I make, and this is my job title, and title sounds sexy, so I'm just supposed to be happy with that. I'm like, what's up with that, man? What I
Uh,
mean,
that's how most people are. Shark Game. It's all I told. It's all about that title, man. They got that title. You know what I mean? And they work for a certain company. You know what I mean? That everybody knows. And they feel like they're distinguished. Like forget about it, man. That's all. That's all that matters to them. 50, 60 is perfect for them. And that's what I mean. Most people like they get their mindset gets set on like a certain amount of money or like a certain car they gotta have or live in a certain place that they stop thinking that there's more than all of that. You know what I'm saying? But when you just have that one track mindset, you're never gonna really go that far in life.
yeah, it's just crazy. I think a lot of people set the bar low, man. I'm like, come on. I mean, there's especially here, man. The game is fucked up here. Let me tell you what you have here, man.
All
There's a
right.
lot of people, man, that drive around with luxury cars. I mean, they do it everywhere. I
Yeah.
see it in New York, I see it in LA, I see it here. But there's a lot of people drive. They might be driving a 745 Beamer or the $100,000 Benz, and all their clothes in the back of the trunk. And these motherfuckers damn near homeless. They
Yep.
on somebody's couch. And the idea is they use the car as a hustle. See, the car gets them, it opens doors for them,
Mm.
which is, I've seen that shit work. I've had it work like that with me, believe it or not.
Mm.
But you have a lot of people here that are struggling, and if people don't have, if women, especially women, if they don't have what they need, they tend to be scandalous, and
Mm.
they're just trying to survive. So I get it, and I understand that. But what usually happens if they don't have what they want, and that's where you come in at.
Yep. Yep.
And they'll meet you, a lot of young girls be on this shit too, especially young girls. They'll meet you smiling, very submissive. They'll chit chat, talk, very patient.
Oh
And
yeah.
if they think that you can help them, or if they think they can finesse something out of you, money, benefits, resources, etc., they'll do almost anything. Whatever you say, they'll do it.
Mhm.
I mean, even if they don't want to do it, they'll still do it.
Yeah.
Because there's been situations where I could have smashed this girl, but I was like, I'm not gonna take advantage of her. I ain't that pressed like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if I wanted to, I could have pushed it, and she would have done it
Oh
because
yeah.
because a lot of these women feel kind of obligated to certain, you know, to certain aspects. They feel obligated because they feel like if I be nice to this guy, if I warm up to him enough, he'll look out for me.
Exactly. There's always a motive with women. You know what I'm saying? There's usually always a motive with women, and if they see, like you said, at all that you can help them and they can benefit from you, they're gonna be all over you. But it's the minute you don't have those resources, or you're not able to help them like that. Most of the time, they're gone.
They're
They're
gone.
gone.
Yeah,
So that's how
yeah.
that goes.
This is why a lot of young girls have so many guys around because it's like they basically running through guys, trying to see
Yep.
who's the highest bidder or the best bidder. This is why you can't really take none of them serious.
Nah,
Because
they got a guy for everything.
exactly, because they know that they ain't got their shit together. They don't, you know. And a lot of them feel like if I just look a certain way, that's all it takes. They got that
Yep.
mindset. So they got that. It's kind of like they got that entitlement mentality. Like if I look a certain way, if I do you a favor or make you feel good, hey, you you kind of supposed to be like you should you kind of have to be obligated to me. Do what
Mm.
I say.
and in short game, most guys know this. Like they know
Yeah,
that what, if I do this for her, I know I better get some pussy or something out of it. And then when they
yeah,
don't, that's when the guy gets all upset.
yeah. You see, I don't I don't tell them shit. I'll be like, look,
Mm.
this is what it is. If you want to fuck with me, this is what it's gonna be. I'm not telling you no dreams. I'm not
Mm.
obligated to do nothing. I don't owe you shit. You don't owe me shit. Then that's it. You know. And see, that's why a lot of them ain't gonna stay around me because I'm not selling no wolf tickets. I'm
Oh
telling
yeah.
you what it is. I'm telling you what it is.
And the other thing too is with the younger girls, when you start selling these girls dreams, some of these girls, when you decide like, hey, you know what, I'm done with you, they're like, oh no, you're not. And some of these young girls is crazy. They'll show up at your job, they'll be smashing your car, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna take advantage of me. So you gotta watch out for that too, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some. Well, women they're very emotional anyway, but there's a lot of women out here that's emotionally disturbed, no doubt about it. Some of them got medical problems, So yeah, there's some of them that will flip the hell out.
Mm.
Because a lot of people, a lot of women, when they get their feelings hurt, I mean, they don't know how to take rejection anyway. So, you know,
Oh, yeah. The
and
younger they are, the worse.
yeah, yeah. And plus, they feel, especially if you smash. Oh,
Oh
my God.
man, forget about it.
Yeah, you got to be kind of tactful if you want to pull away. If you want to leave her alone, you got to be tactful. You can't just cut her off, especially if she know where you live.
Oh,
Oh boy,
forget that.
if she know where you live, you got to be tactful. You cannot just do these women any type of way. You know, you.
Mm-mm.
I just don't think that's a good idea to do that shit. I don't care what you think about the girl, regardless. You might be a low down, dirty, filthy hoe, whatever you want to call her. But if she know where you live at, hey man, you got to be very tactful.
Oh
Don't.
yeah.
I don't. I always. I've never done that shit. Even if I know, even if I didn't have the best respect for the girl,
Mm.
if she stayed at my house, even if she ain't got to stay the night. It can be just for a couple of hours. Always, hey, walk the girl out, give her a hug, and tell her, hey, I see you the next time or whatever. But some guys will treat the girl like a rag doll. Get the fuck out,
Darling, get out.
bitch.
Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
and see, I never thought that shit was cool because I always look at it like, yo, I don't know what the hell that chick might do when she leave here. If I treat her like that. See, my cousin, he do that shit all the time. And this is why he has some of the problems that he has. I mean, the girl, he'll kick the girl out. She'll get upset. She talks shit to the girl on the telephone. And then one girl came in his house and pulled out on his ass. And he slammed the door before she. I tried to tell him, yo, you got to stop talking to these girls like that, man. You can't keep doing that shit.
Yeah, man.
That's why the girl came to your house with a gun. None of
Yeah.
these women are unstable.
And you can end up getting arrested too. These girls will say, "Oh, he did this, he did that."
Yeah,
There you go.
and
You know.
it's a double standard. You already know what it is when it comes to that shit. You know
Oh yeah.
they're gonna always give the woman the benefit of the doubt. And especially if you live in some of these states, the laws is horrible. You
Mm.
know, but no, it's always a double standard, and you just gotta be tactful of how you handle a lot of situations between the sexes.
No, definitely. You definitely do because you can definitely mess up your life and your career and things like that, all because you're messing with the wrong girl and you dealt with the situation in a not so right way that it came back at you. So you know.
What up, John? Well, John said, no, one dude said it's a numbers game, period. Keep pitching and you hit it. John said Russell's a sucker. Russell Wilson's a nice guy. Don't take anything in there 22. Society doesn't want to show you tools on how to make money, or should you have to be a man or promote anything outside of you going to school and chasing after women. Society needs men to chase, no real guidance counselors for men or boys to actually tell you chase the bag, not the woman, and point you in the right direction. I wanted to learn and get into marketing. You can still learn, John. You can still learn about marketing. Women need to stay in the kitchen. Yeah. Hey, you can still learn. You can still learn, John. It's never too late. I got you. I
Nope.
got you. You go
It's on the way,
to Cosmic Warrior. What up? Go to digitalmarketingfast.com. As a matter of fact, I'll type this shit in right now. Digital marketing fast.
Yeah, I mean, what we were saying about marketing is it's all on how you learn it. You know what I'm saying? Like we weren't saying like it's not a good field to go into whatever, but it's just all on how you do it. Like we were saying, like, you go to a 4-year college and, you sit in the room and they're teaching you, stuff that's not going to apply to you, then it's not worth it.
It's outdated. That's the problem with it, in the school system. I think the only university that I know of that teaches what you really need to succeed is American University in DC, just outside of DC. I think it's in DC or outside of DC, either or. They're the only university that I know of that teach you exactly what you need in order to succeed. And I was shocked. They teach social media. They teach everything. I said, damn. And they just started doing it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah. I think I don't know how long they've been around, but I think they're like one of the up and coming universities, man.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm out get these shotgun t-shirts. Sweet Mac a bitch. Yeah, you like that shit.
Well, what do you say about the t-shirts, Shotgun?
Huh?
What do you say about the t-shirts?
He's gonna market the Sweet Mac a bitch t-shirt. That's funny. That's funny. I think I think American University is the only university I know of, and that's about it, man. The rest of the shit, man. If you really want to learn how to market and promote whatever you have, you got to learn that shit. You got to go to conferences and seminars, and you can buy books. You can take that route. But you're only gonna learn by doing, for the most part. You can study. You're gonna have to study if you really want to get real good at it.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, the shit that you learn in college, outside of American University, and I mean, if you want to go to American University, that's a 4-year school. But outside of most universities, even Ivy League colleges, they don't teach this shit. No, they don't teach. They don't even teach how to publish books, bro. They don't teach none of that shit. They don't teach how to market books. They don't teach anything about YouTube. As a matter of fact, most colleges, they hate websites like YouTube, Facebook. They hate it. They don't like it. They wish it didn't exist because they look at it like it's fucking up their revenue. That's how they look at it. Because they look at it like people are going to the internet to buy courses and learn and look at videos, and they're buying books. So the big universities look at it like, shit, why should we invest into this? This is taking money from us.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It shouldn't look at it like that, though. That's how they look at it. It's the backwards way of thinking, really.
Yeah. And you can also go to seminars and things too for marketing as well. They got seminars and stuff that you look in your areas.
That's how I learned, basically.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's how I learned, really, because when I first got started, I didn't have any money. So I started, I think the first marketing book I bought was damn. Shit. I don't even remember the first book. I don't remember. I know the first book I bought was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was the first book I bought. But I think the first marketing book I bought was probably a book called Automatic Marketing. Automatic Marketing. Yeah, and that's by a dude called Ben something. This dude used to work in the White House and used to write speeches for the president.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I heard that, I said, "Oh shit, yeah, I need to." He's the type of guy that I need to check up on. So he was selling his book at the time for like $25. And it was a book like it was a book probably like the size of this book, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the size of this book, probably like 400 pages at the time or whatever. And it was a good book. And basically, this dude, he was ahead of his time because a lot of stuff he was talking about was future based. He was saying that
Mm.
a lot of the jobs that they're going to try to automate and they're going to try to get rid of. So he was saying basically, regardless of if you have a job or not, it's going to pay or send your best interest for you to have some type of side hustle or some type of business or create some type of income for yourself and never solely depend on the job income by itself.
Wow.
Yep.
Same. Yes. Same thing. You know.
Yep. Yep. Ben 10. You crazy. That's cosmic word. Yeah, that's why sucking, sticking with sharp. Yeah, next one. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, get at me. Hilarious. Yeah, man. So I think that's it, man. You know, I think we said
Got
as
it
much as
covered.
we could about this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So hey guys, follow me on Instagram. Check out my website, get all the gear, books. Check out my Patreon. And oh yeah, and you know, hey, this is where it all started from, baby, right here. This is where, and oh yeah, one more thing. Hey, go get this book, Pimp by Iceberg Slim. Go check this out. I started reading this like shit over the weekend. I think I'm on like the first chapter. This is heavy, heavy, heavy. Like there's a lot of psychology in this book. Heavy psychology. I think if if I would have read that book before I read some of the other books that I have, I think I probably would have been caught off guard and blown away because a lot of stuff that's written in the book Pimp, it's like a 21-year-old reading that would be like, there's no way in hell. Can you really do that with a woman?
Mm.
That's just like that. If I would have read that book at 21, I'd have been like, get the fuck out of here. But being that I'm older now, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I can see how that can happen. You know, I could relate to some of it, but I couldn't relate to all of it because you know, pimps they got their own language. You know,
That's right.
it's like a it's like a different dialect. It's like a different way of being, a different way of thinking too. So, you know, just go check out that book. Hey, and I got it from Walmart. Walmart got it for $12.
Shoot.
I
Y'all
mean,
get
I was
down to
shocked.
Walmart and pick that up.
Yeah, I was shocked that it was in there. I'm like, what the hell? But you know, but them dudes from Cash Money, they bought the publishing rights for the book.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, yeah. CMG is at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much I want. I heard they pay like what? I don't know. Maybe a couple mil to buy the rights. But hey, I'll be looking for books like that. That's kind of like out of print and that I can bring back to life. That's
Mm.
kind of like in demand. So I'll be looking. You know, I'll be looking for shit like that. Like the book Black Players. Like Tariq Nasheed, he bought the rights for that book and brought that shit back to life, and that shit's selling like crazy now.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff you can do, man. You just gotta keep your eyes and ears open, you know, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So, any last words, man?
Nah, man, I think we covered it, man, and you know what I'm saying. I hope people have a different perspective on things, and we're able to, reach out to people that need to hear this game. And definitely check out Walmart and Amazon too for those books, and make sure you know what I'm saying you go ahead and grab you a one of Sharp Games books.
All right, everybody. Peace.